What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm very excited to bring to you guys a video featuring my brand new red silicone front mount intakes. Now, these are coming directly from Project Gamma. I'm very excited to install these, and I can't wait to get you guys some beautiful sound clips. Stay tuned. So first up, I took out the front grills so I can have access to this whole area. So these are usually the hardest parts. Not really hardest, but the most annoying part of this is to get the grills out. As you can see here, I previously installed these carbon fiber intake scoops to help direct the air in. So these are gonna have to come out. Anybody interested? I will be reselling these. So I removed the carbon fiber air scoops out the way. So now we can move on with this install. So I've officially removed the left rubber air ducting that was behind those air scoops I had. This, you could just wiggle it right out. What you're gonna have to do first though is just to get it off this rail here. Just pry it off of it. And once you get that pried off, it'll be easy, there you go, to wiggle it right out. And it's rubber, so just it can bend and there's no really worries behind that. This side's a little bit more tucked. Might be needs a little bit more finessing, but we'll get it. Yeah, so this came out a lot easier with two hands when I wasn't holding the camera. But there we go. We're gonna have to take this carbon fiber strut brace off out the way. So just get all these nuts and bolts off. This rubber guard here has to come off, so that way you can undo these bolts to get this entire brace off. So you have access to work on these intakes and get them out. So now what I did was I loosened up this clamp here. I pulled this coolant hose back off of the OEM intake tube here. Unplugged the MAF sensor that was plugged in right here. And now we also have to pop this off, squeeze the sides, push back, cool. And now we can just rock this about a bit, lift it, give it a little lift up off these grommets. There we go, you can hear it, you can see it. I might need two hands for a second, so I'll put this phone down, but you get the idea. Maybe loosen this a little bit more. So I should be able to rock it out of place now. There we go. First side's out. Forget to take this out of place as well. This helps guide the air in. This was originally plugged in to these rubber air ducts. So yeah, all that's out the way. Now we got to try and fit this thing in here. So now we have to transfer the MAF sensor here. We're going to transfer this MAF sensor, pull it off, and install it here. It comes with new bolts to install it. Do not reuse these from BMW, the OEM ones. They're a different thread. They'll just rip this thing up. So you want to use what's included from Project Gamma here. Here you can see the difference in the thread. The left is the OEM, the right is the Project Gamma. So you see the difference. You have to use the one provided on the right here. So these only fit in here one way. It'll line right up. You just have to push down. So it's flush now. And now we'll use the provided hardware to snug this down. So I chose to tighten these down with a little Allen key here. Just hand tight snug, nothing crazy. You don't want to strip that out. So just a little Allen key here will get this hand tightened for you. And you don't want to go too crazy with that. So Project Gamma included this sleeve here. This is going to go right into the OEM portion of our intake. You can feel it sit right in place. Just wiggle it on there. Next, you would tighten the OEM clamp here. So this is tight and snug in there. And then we're going to slide this intake tube from Project Gamma right over this sleeve. And then we're going to use one of Project Gamma's provided clamps to tighten that. So this clamp can be placed over this tubing Then we'll put the tubing over this sleeve and we'll tighten this clamp so it's snug against this sleeve. So as you can see here, I'm halfway through pushing this first silicone tube through for the intakes. The whole point of me going with Project Gamma was because it's silicone, it's flexible. This is a tight area to get this silicone piping through. See, you have to go through this little area and then you have to still come through this opening and bend and pull through. So as I was doing it, I kind of broke this piece off. It was just here. Like a lot of people just like Dremel this area out to make a bigger opening. This just broke with my hand, so this should help me get this piping through. So in an effort to make life easy as possible, I ended up trimming a little bit of the hard plastic here, so that way I can wiggle this intake tube right through a lot easier, because you want as much space as you can. I'm also considering trimming this top portion here just a little bit, but let's see if I get it through first. So I decided to back the tube back out. I was able to cut pieces off of this opening to make it wider, and then I sanded it off a bit and smoothed up the edges. So now we're gonna try this again. So guys, I'm really hoping this noise canceling microphone I have on is doing its job, because the neighbors are mowing the lawn right now, making mad noise. So far I've gotten this one tube on. It has to go underneath this hose. I managed to break the piece here that connects. It snapped, so I put a zip tie over it. So I put a zip tie over it. I plugged this back in, the MAF sensor. So as you can see, you can trace it. It's going all the way through, down through the front here. So we're gonna go ahead and put the first cone on there. So I've officially gotten one side completely installed. So that side is completely installed. Now let's work on this side. So I just repeated the process on this side to remove the stock airbox. That's out the way. I got it right over here. I'm gonna have to transfer over this MAF sensor into the new silicone intake piping here. And let's not forget that this piece also comes off too. Everything's all installed. This is what it looks like under the engine bay now. I just need to put back a carbon fiber strut brace. So I think that's my final adjustment. I was able to get it looking a lot more even. It's not perfect, but it doesn't bother me, because worst comes to worst, I'll just have to trim a little bit off this silicone tubing. My main thing was making sure I had good clearance with right here. That was my main thing. I wanted that clearance, good peace of mind. So if you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you guys. Go ahead and consider giving my video a like, consider subscribing. I've got a lot more content coming on the way. I also want to give you my final thoughts. So this is a very easy install. I might be exaggerating. The hardest part is going to be taking those grills out. You could opt to take the whole front bumper off if you like, but that was the hardest part. Or let's say tedious, because it's not difficult, it's just a pain. And the other tedious aspect of this was getting the silicone tubes to go where you need them to go. It's gonna take a little bit of finessing, it's gonna take a bit of trimming, but it can be done. If I could do it, you guys could definitely do it. But yeah, final thoughts. You get a good amount of noise coming from the intakes, like a lot, as you can tell. I did some pulls on the highway, did some pulls on the street. I was just cruising on the street. I was just cruising on the highway. I got it in efficient mode. I got it in sport mode. I got it in sport plus mode. So you got a good taste of what to expect. But yeah, it's been about 2 days and I really like these Project Gamma front mount intakes. So once again, if you've enjoyed the video, go ahead and consider giving me a like, subscribe, and stay tuned. I've got a lot more videos on the way.